You see the Lebanese villages and Lebanese land. And then after that is Palestine. So just the ridge is Lebanese and the rest is Palestine here. And the other side, Syria. Hey everybody, this is Laith Marouf from Free Palestine TV. We are at Eshmon Temple in the city of Sidon, just outside the city of Sidon. Before we continue this tour, I ask you to press the subscribe button on whatever social media platform you're watching this on, and to go to our website, freepalestine.video, so you can donate, so we can continue bringing you these reports from the field. Eshmon Temple is the most complete Phoenician, quote-unquote, temple in Lebanon. It is dedicated to the god Eshmon, or what is equivalent in the Babylonian pantheon to the god Tammuz, which is the name of the month, of course. Tammuz is July, the god of healing and of plenty. Tammuz, of course, is when all the plants have grown through the spring and it's time for harvest in the sun. This site was, of course, rebuilt over and over after the Phoenicians by the Greeks and the Romans and the Babylonians and the Egyptians, over and over on top of this. And eventually, when the Roman Empire became Christian, the religious practices of the Canaanites in the region were banned, and there was a church built on top of the original site of the temple. The name Eshmon, of the god Eshmon, comes from the old Semitic, the number Shmon, Thamania in Arabic, or Shmone in Hebrew. The eighth, Eshmon is the eighth son of the father god in the pantheon of Canaanite religions. And it's also the Carthaginians, which are an extension of the Canaanites, carried this god with them to Carthage in what is now modern Tunisia. And that gives us a chance to talk about what is all these namings: Phoenicians, Carthaginian, Assyrian, Akkadian, Babylonian, Canaanite, Pharaonic. These are all the same people, what we would call today the Arabic peoples, with various accents of the same Proto-Semitic language that are only different in one letter of in the alphabet. Usually in what they pronounce, one vowel is changed, an A is changed to an O or E, and one constant letter that is guttural, like a sa becomes a sa, or a tha becomes a sa. Changes, very small changes that are accent wise. And when we talk about Sur and Saida as the gates of to the world, from the Eastern Mediterranean to the rest of the world, we can understand how the word Sur becomes Tur, becomes Tir in English and in Latin, and the word Sur becomes Sur or Sir, and then Syria and Syrian and Assyrian and Ashurian and Akkadian. All of that are the same word for the same people. And we look at the pantheon of gods in all of this region, from Algeria to here, and the people and their history, and we understand that they're all the same. Of course, the Canaanite pantheon, after the colonization by the Greeks, was transported to Greece, basically, and the pantheon of the Greeks is a copy of the pantheon of the original Canaanites. The alphabet of the Canaanites becomes the alphabet of the Greeks. And then the Romans do the same thing, colonizing the language, alphabet, colonizing the pantheon of gods. And this history of 6,000 years of colonization of culture from the East and South Mediterranean basin, from the Canaanite peoples, by the Europeans, also carries on through the colonization of Judaism, and then the colonization of Christianity by the Romans, where the holy city was moved from Jerusalem to the Vatican. And another 2,000 years later, we're still struggling the same struggle, with Europeans insisting that they know how to speak in the names of the gods born here. It is when we hear European leaders or American leaders talk about the Judeo-Christian civilization attempting to present themselves as the true interpreters of the theological heritage of the people of Bilad al-Sham, of the Canaanites. This is a continuation of this same problem that was faced by the people here even before the birth of Abrahamic theological record. Behind me are remnants of the Hijaz train tracks that used to go from Istanbul through Syria and Lebanon and Palestine all the way to Mecca. And this is what remains of these tracks after the British obviously cut the main routes during World War I, and then eventually the Israelis destroyed much of the tracks that remained in Lebanon that were used for internal travel in Lebanon. This is a car for transporting things. That's the top of it. Clearly it tilted. It would have some rocks or sand or something, and it will tilt. We're still in the Eshmon temple area. You can see how it's not well taken care of. The first time that it was extensively cleared was in the 1960s and 70s, and then the Israeli invasion happened of Lebanon, the occupation, and the quote-unquote civil war suspended all excavation in the area, and eventually was reopened after liberation in 2000. But as we see, because of the multiple wars that happened in Lebanon since then, it's back to being semi-abandoned, the site. This is the throne of Astarte, or Ashtar, the mother goddess in the Canaanite pantheon. There is at least 12 of them in Lebanon, around in different Phoenician temples. And again, here the word Phoenician being just what the people outside this region would have called the coastal Canaanites, but Ashtar being given a throne in every temple of quote-unquote Phoenicians in Lebanon proves that, of course, it's the same people as the rest of the Canaanites in the region of Greater Syria and North Africa and Egypt. There's supposed to be two winged lions on the sides of this throne. In other more complete thrones that around Lebanon you would see them. And up there there's a motif of the hunt, Eshmon being the god of health and plenty. This is dedicated to him. You see the Lebanese villages and Lebanese land, and then after that is Palestine. So just the ridge is Lebanese and the rest is Palestine here. And the other side, Syria. You can see from here Kiryat Shmona, the Israeli settlement. The colony is right there behind this house. Is Kiryat Shmona. Okay. Which means 8 villages, Kiryat Shmona. Like Eshmon,
Yes.
Shmona, the 8 villages. Why? There was 8 villages here, they ethnically cleansed.
Okay.
And they made them into one settlement, one colony. And they called it Kiryat Shmona. We're at the edge of al-Khiam prison camp that the Israelis used to use with the Lahad army to torture Palestinians and Lebanese resistance fighters. Under us there is the Hula Valley, and behind it is the Golan Heights, all the way to Jabal Sheikh up there. You could see in the bottom of the valley here a few more Lebanese villages. At the edge is the Shab'a and Shab'a farms right there. Just a few hours ago there was a few air raids right there in the Khiam Valley on the other side of the Khiam Hill. And as we can see, the locals are rebuilding, beginning in al-Khiam, but clear mass destruction in the village and the villages around it. There was also earlier a machine gun firing on a village here near us from the Israeli post that almost led to the martyrdom of a woman. Luckily they missed her car with their machine gun firing. And the air raids on the Arnoun area near Nabatiyah that we reported on 2 days ago, we know now that there's 2 martyrs and 4 injured from there. And the location was targeted by the Israelis multiple times during the war. So there was nothing important to hit or any important individuals that were inside the location there. This was Laith Marouf from Free Palestine TV from the Khiam prison on the edge of al-Hula Valley and Occupied Palestine. I ask you to press the subscribe button on whatever social media platform you're watching this on, and to go to our website freepalestine.video to donate so we can continue bringing you these reports from the field. Until we see you next time, I bid you all a free Palestine.